my son innocently, because we were playing basketball, and he likes playing horse, right? You know, where you spell out the word horse,
Right.
And he wanted to play with me and my wife, and he goes, "Can we?" He goes, he actually said this, but he doesn't know what it means. He goes, "Can we play horse threesome?" And I had to tell him, I looked around, you know, I made sure that, you know, I go, "Listen, we're going to have a father-son talk." I said, "That's kind of like adult language." And he goes, "What is?" And I said, "Threesome." And he goes, "It is?" Like, he was totally baffled. And he goes, "What does it mean?" I'm like, do I tell him? I go, "Well, it's, you know what, I'm thinking, I'm going to tell him. Otherwise someone else is going to tell him." And I go, it's a threesome is when, you know, a guy has sex with two women at the same time. And Flip, it was hilarious. He goes, "That doesn't even make sense." And we're back. Hey, everybody, it's Darren Carter, host of the Pocket Party Podcast, and I'm doing video versions. Yes. And now, coming to the podcast, here he is in his home, away from home. Please welcome Mr. Flip Schultz.
Hey, Darren.
Right on, man. Got the office chair. Looking good, buddy.
Thank you, man. You too. Yeah, I've been quarantined and I've been trying really to lose all muscle mass. So I think I'm getting my arms to a good 4 inches around. So I'm getting there.
Wow. Yeah, I'm thinking of naughty jokes right now, but I won't go there.
Why not, Darren? Why not? We're stuck in our own home. Let's be naughty.
Exactly. That's funny. Hey,
Don't worry. If it gets too dirty, I have something to help.
Oh, nice. Do you find yourself?
I find myself all the time when I look in the mirror. I'm like, oh, there I am.
Do you think you're going to gain weight during this quarantine or lose weight?
I've been losing weight, dude. It's crazy, man. It's funny. I went out today. I'm in Florida right now. I live in LA. I live close to you, but a couple of weeks ago when all this, what, are we cursing or no?
Yeah, you can curse. Go ahead.
Okay. When all this shit started happening, I just, I felt I just needed to be with my family because I have a roommate back at home, but he delivered for Uber Eats and he was with his girl, so I was home by myself a lot. So yeah. I want to come home, be with my family right now. So today I went shopping for my family, and they had this scale in the shopping center, and I'm like, I lost weight. I cannot believe that I am losing weight during the quarantine. Wow. And all you do is just sit around and eat.
Yeah. So, and you lost weight, and you're losing weight during this quarantine.
It's weird because a friend of mine even said, because I posted some videos, like, you need to eat. And he goes, a couple months ago, you were posting pictures. Your arms were getting bigger. I'm like, yeah, I was on a cruise ship and I had access to a great gym all the time. Now I don't have.
Yeah. Did anybody on those cruise ships that you were on get the coronavirus that you know of? Did you guys have any lockdowns or anything?
No. Like, fortunately, I guess my last cruise that I worked on was in, I guess it was around Valentine's Day, around that time of February. And at that point, it was just something in China, it was something, and it was one cruise ship that had some, that people, that it was on. It was the time when it was just one ship. So we were all like, oh, that sucks, man. But, good thing it's not happening to us, and it's not going to, it's not going to happen. And then I got off the ship, and then I was working in Vegas in early March. Yeah. And that's when shit started really to happen. But no, when I was on the ship, there was nobody who was having it on our show.
That's good. That's good. And
forgive me, I might ramble because I've been having a lot of this.
And some people on those cruise ships, it might only be like I think I read somewhere that only 20% of the people on the ship actually got a little bit sick. The rest felt fine. So
I mean, it's
not as
It wasn't this thing that overtook the ship. It was there were people who got it, but it wasn't this here's the thing about cruise ships. And honestly, when I heard this was happening, I thought to myself, I wish I was on a ship. Only because the ship would probably be the safest place you could be. Because I've been on a ship when they had an outbreak of what's called gastroenteritis or something like that. Basically, it's a bug where you have to go to the bathroom a lot.
Yeah.
And if it gets out of control, they basically all the crew is sequestered in crew area. They're not allowed to interact or go into passenger area. And in the buffet and everything, there are people serving the food for you, and they're cleaning constantly. So cruises really are on their game when there's an outbreak that happens.
Wow.
So it didn't surprise me that only a few people got sick, because I'm sure right when it happened, they started their own quarantine immediately.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
How are you doing?
So, what's that?
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you. Thank you. And you know what? I like keeping busy, and I find when I keep busy, that's otherwise, your mind starts to wander. And what does they say about the devil and idle
idle hands are the devil's playground.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why
what will I do with these? Yeah, exactly.
You're not getting a hold of me, devil.
I'm gonna choke the shit out of you. Yeah. Yeah. Mom, I gotta go choke the devil.
Gotta choke him.
Oh my gosh.
I've got a hold on him, Mom.
You know what's funny is we're not supposed to touch our hand, our face, and we're not supposed to. And it's like, well, no, we're in our own home. And earlier you were saying how you're losing weight, and I'm seeing you do a lot of this, and you keep touching your nose.
It keeps tickling my nose. I got to shave.
Oh, well, you're in Florida, and Florida's known for a certain, I don't
know, man. It's been good out here. I haven't gotten a lot of sleep. I don't know if it had anything to do with nerves, but it's.
You're like, I'm losing so much weight, man.
Woo! Losing weight. I'm running like 20 miles in an hour. It's great, man.
You're like, I'm at my parents' house. Yeah.
Hey, Dad, what is it, dude? What do you want, bro?
Yeah, I'm partying with Pablo Escobar. Oh, dude, I got to tell you, man. This is, oh, man. Am I telling a story out of school? No, I'm going to say it anyways. I have a friend. He's single, and he's still he's one of these guys that's like still trying to hook up with the ladies, even during the quarantine.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's out and about here in LA. And it's gotten people
going out and meeting the girls.
No. Here's what he's doing. He's like one of these. I think he does like a delivery thing, and he picks up stuff for people and just delivery service. And
mm-hmm.
He said it's so hard to flirt with women because they've got the mask on and the gloves and the boots, and they're more like, like their vibe is like, stay away from me. I don't look at you. Let's just get our business and 6 feet, and let's keep. That's the vibe of everybody, right? And he's still out there trying to like, hey, And he told me it's as dry as a bone out there. He's like, I'm not getting any love. I'm not getting any. And
see, that's why this quarantine, this whole thing is good for my dating life, because women were avoiding me before all this anyway.
Yeah.
6 feet away from me is nothing new for me.
Yeah. So.
Of course, no woman's gonna be like, look, I know there's a deadly virus going on, but goddamn, you deliver for Uber? Oh, we're gonna get you.
Yeah, but you have a 6-pack under that hazmat suit,
No, but I got a 6-pack in my trunk. I'm delivering it to another person after this.
So get this: he met a woman online, and this is LA. He's
mm-hmm.
gonna fly across the country. he's dude on Friday. Supposedly Friday.
That's how desperate we are to get laid. Is like,
I know, dude. I know.
At this point,
he's flying from LA to Philadelphia to hook up with some woman, and I go, dude, you've never met her before, and she's never met you. He's like, nah, but we talk on the phone, and I go, let me ask you. I go, maybe I'm just being a dad here. I go, but what kind of woman is going to allow some strange man to fly across the country during a pandemic to bang her, And he goes, the kind of woman I like. And I was like, okay, maybe that's, but I thought it was a little, I don't know, man. Wouldn't you just wait?
What's that?
Wouldn't you just wait? I mean,
I would, but that's me.
Yeah.
I was,
that's me too.
Yeah. I was actually, it's funny. I was actually supposed to fly back to LA this Saturday. That's when I booked my flight. It was for 3 weeks. Yeah. And my flight, I didn't even know it got canceled. Like I happened to go online just to look at the, make sure my seat was good, and my flight was gone. And I called the airline and they go, "Oh yeah, that was canceled." I'm like, nobody told me. So I'm coming back at the beginning of May.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. But when I flew out here, it was crazy, man. Like, and no joke, I flew on a flight that would seat probably about 200 people. There were like 17 people in the
Wow.
plane. Crazy.
Wow. Yeah, I was watching some an online vlogger that I follow, and he flew from Florida to California. Mm-hmm. And he showed like pretty much the empty plane and the empty rental car place and all the different kiosks that were closed at the airport, etc.
It's insane, man. This is insane, dude.
You know what? I'm trying to tap into the joy of what, rather than going to the fear, the joy of what can we, what better time to, like you said, to spend time with your family and feel guilt free. It's like.
Exactly. Like, I'm like you. I want to stay informed, but I can't be overwhelmed by it.
Yeah.
I think that initially, that's not that I didn't want to be with my family, but I came out here very quickly. And I think it was because I got caught up in the fear and I got caught up in the paranoia. Yeah. And I'm here with my family. I'm glad I'm here.
I got caught up in the paranoia.
I'm sorry. It's just you don't have mustache. You don't know the little hairs tickled your nose.
Yeah. No, I get it. I was just joking. I was doing a callback. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, I got caught up in all that. So now I'm to the point where I want to stay informed, but I can't constantly watch it because we know what's happening and we know. Yeah. So I'm doing the same thing. I'm hanging out with my nieces and just being around that. And I'm getting to know, I have a great relationship with my parents, but I'm getting to know them even better now. Yeah. And actually, right before I did this podcast with you, it's the second time I tried this. I did a live broadcast on Facebook and Instagram where I basically did stand-up in front of my family, in front of my parents, just my two parents.
I got to tell you, I loved it. I watched some of it over the weekend, and it was great. I mean, I've seen people trying different things, and to see you try material and hearing your mom and dad laughing off camera, it was awesome, man. I was like, now he's doing it right.
Oh, thanks, man. Well, and it's funny, too, because when I did the thing tonight, we did about an hour. And, I didn't have thousands of people there. It wasn't about that. It was more just, doing something that was fun. And if people are enjoying it. And I even said at the end, look, if you guys enjoy this, I'm not trying to, build an audience. I'm just trying to make people laugh. So share this because that's all this is now. And honestly, dude, and I know you can relate, even if it was just my parents that were laughing, as a performer, to hear laughter, to get that again. It was the first time in a while that I felt normal and I felt really good inside. It's just doing what I know brings me joy.
Yeah, because it's really weird for people that aren't comedians. It's like, this is what we do. And when you don't do it, you're just like, well, what am I? You feel at a loss, I know a guy that was a construction worker, and he was like a distant relative, and we got together at Thanksgiving once, and he told me, he goes, he's a construction worker, and he goes, there's something about, he goes, I'm my regular self, but when I put on my work boots and when I strap on that tool belt, he goes, I feel like a superhero. I'm like, this is what I was made for. And he goes, and I go to work. And it's like, and I think it's kind of, in a sense, I know what he means. There's something about being a comedian when you have your certain show clothes that you put on and a certain routine that you do. You're like, yes,
Well, you know what it is? It's like there's one of my favorite clubs is Flappers in Burbank. And just a plug for Flappers, amazing club. And it's the closest club geographically for you and I, so we're there all the time. And when I walk in the doors of that club, I'm like, I'm home. This is home. This is comfort. And even if I'm not going up, I see friends, or I'll watch the show, or I'll see these new comics doing things, or I'll see and you walk through the kitchen and we're to the point we can grab some coffee and we know the wait staff. It's home, and it's like the same thing. It's like, this is where I belong.
Shout out to William.
Shout out to William and Gene.
Yeah. Love
And Jeff and all our friends over there.
Yeah, all the people, man. Love it. Love Flappers.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, totally, man. It's like, you know what's so funny? Wow, because you mentioned superhero, and this reminded me. Years ago, when I was in college, I was a theater major, and I was still doing stand-up. It was down here, actually. And this girl who was in my theater class, really cute, she came to see me do a set, and she was sitting there, and afterwards she said, I'm watching you, and you're running around, and you're knowing this, this guy and this guy, and da 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 da. And I realized this, and I said to her, well, this is kind of like, this is like, when Superman goes to Krypton, and he's got all his friends, or I'm sorry, the Hall of Justice. It's like, this is Superman's life.
Hall of Justice. I like that.
This is where he's Superman, and it's like, that's what it is as a comic. The comedy club is like our Hall of Justice, and we're all different superheroes.
Oh, and this right now, this quarantine, this is like kryptonite.
This is, but we're still finding a way to make, like right now, just doing this. We're doing a Zoom podcast, know?
Hey, by the way, that girl sounded pretty hot back then. Would you fly across the country just to make out with her during a pandemic?
Yes. If she still looked the same way she did in college, abso-fucking-lutely.
By the way, now this was last week, They have since closed a lot of the trails down at Griffith Park, but I was at Griffith Park and I was going for a little jog, and I got to the part where I was just walking, and I tweeted this. This might be a joke, and I don't know. There was a woman that she was walking toward me, and as she got closer, she pulled her mask down to reveal her face, and I thought, is this modern day flirting? like, huh? Yeah.
That's funny. It's like I don't know if I'm ready to go to that level yet. I'll just show you the bottom of the nose.
Yeah.
It's like the new Girls Gone Wild.
I tweeted that, and Lori Kilmartin, who writes for Conan, she replied, Darren, she was trying to kill you. She goes, so in other words, yes, she was flirting. Hey, let's do some new jokes or some. I was going through some notebooks here.
You're talking about that. Yeah, I'm gonna. By the way, are you? Because okay, for people watching, this is how comics do it. Darren said something that made me think of that, and in my head, I'm like, oh, that's a good joke, but it was based on your idea, so technically, it's your joke. If you weren't going to use that in that angle, what could I do it?
Yes, and do me a favor. Your head's getting cut off by the camera.
Oh,
yes. No, you can get closer, but just maybe tilt the camera a little bit.
Oh, no, I'm going to sit back in my chair when I'm done. I'm a very lazy person, Darren.
Okay, because I do like the audio. I like how loud you are when you're closer. You're a little bit louder when you're closer. But so what would you come up with right now with the mask?
It's just that, that you were saying that's the new flirting, and it'll be like, okay, I'm only going to show you the bottom of my nose, that whole thing with the mask, and oh my God, I'm so crazy. Like, I think that's funny. I could totally see that either one of us making that work. But again, it was based on your joke. So if you want to take that premise and run with it, then it's yours. But if you don't, then I'd like to try it.
No, go for it. Go for it.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Okay.
Yeah, I'm totally. Yeah.
Because that's the thing. Again, as a comic, I am very respectful of premises and jokes. And if two comics come up with something together, my opinion is it's based on the guy who threw out the germ of the joke, and that was you.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't run with that unless I had your okay about it.
That's funny. The germ of the joke. Yeah.
The germ of the joke. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, I think the audio is clipping a little bit. I think it's best if you keep your hands kind of down, I think.
Really?
Yeah, because whenever you cover your face, it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I won't do that anymore.
Yes. All right, let's go through the note. Let's see what new jokes we have. Let's share some new material.
I'll be honest, I don't have new material, but I'll do with you what I was doing with my parents.
Oh, is that what you're going to...
I was reading, I literally, Darren, you've seen my book, right?
Yes.
I literally have a book, like probably about this thick, of all my jokes, printed out verbatim. George Carlin told me to do this, not that I'm name dropping. But I have a category in my book called ideas. and it's literally 50 pages of ideas, premises, or jokes that I've never tried on stage. And what I've been doing a couple times is live streaming me trying these jokes on my parents. So I was going to go through the file and try some of these jokes with you to see what you think.
Please do.
All right. And you've got some too, some new jokes you want to try?
Yeah.
Okay. Or I'll try this.
You want me to go first, or you want to go?
Oh, yeah, you go first.
Okay. This literally happened right before everything got shut down, and I only had a chance to try it once on stage. But I was at a comedy club, and for stage, you might cut out the fat and just go straight to the funny part. But here's what really happened. I was at a comedy club, and I was setting up my merchandise table, and the hostess came back, and she told her friend, she goes, "Oh my gosh, that regular customer's in there. He's always flirting with me, the old creepy guy." And she goes, "He's so nice, but he's just always flirting. He's kind of creepy." And apparently this is the line that the man said. He goes, "How old are you?" And she said her age. And he goes, "I've got socks older than you." And she was really creeped out about that. And I told my wife that, and she goes, "Well, he probably cleaned it up. Like he was probably thinking, I want to say underwear older than you, but that's gross. So I'll say socks." But even that is gross because those two young girls, they're like probably about 25. They were like, it just creates a awful image. Cause you just picture some old man, like what's he doing to those socks? Like how old are those socks?
Yeah.
It's so gross.
I got socks older than you.
But I'll tell you, here's how I made it. Here's now, if I did the joke, I would take all that out and just say this part, like, "I've got socks older than you." And I said, what he should have said was, "How old are you?" "I've got investments older than you."
Yeah, that's much cleaner.
That might be better, right? Like I think that would,
Funnier, yeah.
Might be more appealing if she's a gold digger, investments older than you.
Well, I ain't saying she's a gold digger. But she ain't messing with no broke.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like so the joke would be, "I've got investments older than you." Why would but see, now I'm thinking, why would he pick socks? What if he meant stocks, but he said socks?
Oh, that's funny. "I've got stocks older than you," but she's thinking that he's saying socks. Oh wow. That guy's like wondering why he's alone during a pandemic, and it's because he didn't enunciate.
Enunciate. Yeah. It's like
"I've got stocks older than you."
Socks? Ooh, you creep. Ew.
Yeah.
Oh, socks. Or what about like if he can't pronounce his T, so he keeps screwing up, like he's like trying to think of another did you see that new movie SARS Wars?
SARS Wars. Yeah. I like the can you do the one about I saw in the live stream about Michael you saw the Jackson 5
That joke killed my mother, by the way.
Was it a tribute show or was it the real Jackson 5?
No, the story, the true story is I was working, I was doing a gig at the Orange County, I think it was the Orange County Fair for Jason Love, actually. And the Jackson 5 were there, like the remaining Jackson brothers. Yeah. And they were out doing their thing, and it was a good show. And they showed this video of, like a Jack behind the scenes and them doing, talking about their career or whatever that they showed during the show. And they all said that their father was their biggest motivator. He's the one that really pushed them. And my joke was like, what if their father really wasn't, as adamant about them being performers? What if he just didn't really push them and they never did anything with their talent? They were just a bunch of brothers who had beautiful voices but never did anything with them. Like Michael might still be here. I'm going to stand up for this. Just gonna. There we go. Michael might still be alive. And Michael probably still had the same affectations that he did, but just never did anything with it. He'd still be in Indiana, maybe managing like a supermarket or something, going up. Yeah, if you want to go, the produce is over there. Could you come on? Yeah. He's a real estate agent. Yeah, this house is wonderful. It's got a lot of crown molding. Shimon. This way, I'll take it to the kitchen. And then he just moonwalks.
That's funny.
I didn't realize how funny that joke was until I saw my mom literally crying.
Because it's so silly that it's just like, yeah.
It's silly. Exactly. It's silly. You and I are both like similar comics in that we have some serious stuff, but the core of our act is silliness.
I saw a great comedian. I saw a great line by a comedian today on Twitter, Jamar Neighbors. He goes, he was on because he tweets a lot, and he goes, man, he's like, I can't wait to get on stage a lot because a lot of my comedy is driven by mugging, and tweeting ain't funny, or something like that, like because a lot of the stuff is like act outs and mugging and making faces, and Twitter is just like 6 words or whatever,
Twitter is also the great equalizer because you suddenly find out, is it funny just on its own without the pizzazz of acting?
Sometimes I have jokes that work written, and then when I perform them or say them out loud, it's not the same. I've had that happen.
Same here.
Yeah. Here's the example. I walked into a Chipotle, and because they put the calories on the menu board, and so the joke, it made me think. I go, when I was a kid, first thing I'd look at was like the food, and then when I was in my 20s, I'd look at the prices, and now I look at the calories, and it didn't do as well. Like online, it did great. Like people were retweeting it and favoring it, and
So it's a very well written joke. It's the rule of threes. And it's that turn at the end. Yeah, no, it's a good one.
All right, here's a joke. I recently performed at a wedding, and when we walked into the wedding or the reception, they had all the guests signing Jenga pieces. An autographing, because maybe they were like into Jenga or something. But the joke I thought of was, I thought, wow, is that really something you want at your wedding, like a game, a marriage built on an unstable structure? I thought, if they're going to go that route, why not have the board game aggravation or sorry?
Yeah. I kind of know where you're going. Like that's a great
or
joke.
If the woman's mad, the guy can be playing Uno.
Or the guy could be playing with himself. Nah, sorry.
Yeah.
There's so many places you can go with that. It's a great premise, man.
Thinking of different board games. But what else you got?
On me or
just let's hear some of your jokes.
Sorry. The writer in me wants to go, hey, where else can we go with that? If I think of anything else, I'll tell you. Okay, this is one that I have, again, in my never really tried jokes. And forgive me, I got to read it because I don't really know this. I hate smokers, especially the ones who try to look cool by smoking and exhaling at the same time. Like, hey, how did that date go? Are you kidding? I took her back to my place. The next day, she couldn't walk straight. What's fun for me to do is ask them a one-word answer. Or what's fun to do is ask them a one-word answer question and then just watch their face. Like, hey, are you hungry? Nope.
Yeah.
Are you sure? Yeah, I'm really sure I ate before I came here. I guess.
I thought of this. We were watching a movie, and my wife told my son, because a part of the movie came on like a little, I don't know if it was like a make-out scene or whatever, but she tells my son, Austin, cover your eyes. And I'm like, ooh, hit record. That's when I know it's a good part of the movie.
Here's one. I hate the whole club scene. You have to know someone who knows someone to get in line at these places. And they all have these bouncers outside them like, hey, man, get back. I tried to get tough with a bouncer one time. I'm like, yo, man, don't push. I mean, look at me. I'm not a bouncer. Like, I could be a bouncer like Chuck E. Cheese. That's the extent of my bouncing. Like, hey, kid, back up. Sorry, the balls are full. Everybody knows Chucky. You're not on the list. Are you bribing me with 4 tokens? Dude, and some tickets. All right, you're in. Don't forget, there's a 2 drink box minimum inside.
Oh, I like that.
These are so.
Hey, you used to work at Chuck E. Cheese, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I was Chuck E. Cheese, man.
Wow.
I dressed up as a rat for 2.5 years.
Dude, this has gone full circle. You're back at your parents' house. You're like this close to working at Chuck E. Cheese again.
Yeah, this is my old bedroom.
Wow.
I am talking to you from the bedroom that I lost my virginity in.
Wow.
Right on this floor, right over here.
Wow. Did the Chuck E. Cheese have anything to do with it?
Dude, I got so much puss from being the rat, man. I got so much tail. I got tail. Uh, actually, you know what happened? This one time, I'll never forget. Because, like, I used to walk around. I mean, I got the big head on and everything. And girls would flirt with me. They don't know what I look like. They think it's funny to flirt with them. One girl gave me her number. She, like, slipped it underneath the helmet.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
funny.
I never did anything with it, but it was pretty crazy. But yeah, dude, it's so, like, because I've been to my parents' house a lot. Because, like, again, I do ships, so I fly in. A lot of ships go out of Miami. Excuse me. So I would always come in early, spend a couple days with my family, then go on the ship.
Yeah.
So it's like being here, but not under these circumstances and not for this long, for this stretch of time.
Yeah.
So it is bizarre being in my old bedroom, like, on such a continuous basis now. And it doesn't look anything like my bedroom when I was living here. But it still is kind of a mindfuck.
Yeah, it's weird, right? It's like,
yeah. But honestly, I'd rather be here than in LA right now.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you know my roommate. He's a really good guy, good comic. But like I said, he was gone a lot, and his family only lives a couple hours away. And just with everything going on, it's like I really want to be with the family right now.
Here's one. I saw this note. I took my son to the boxing gym, and the way the lighting is, like the lights go right above your head. And after we got done working out, my son goes, "Dad, let me see if you have a six-pack." And I lifted up my shirt, but I think it was just the way the light bulb was. And he goes, "Dad, you're starting to get a six-pack." And I remember telling my wife, "Hey, Austin says I'm starting to get a six-pack." And she goes, "Really?" I go, "Yeah, well, it was because of the lighting." And she goes, "Oh, was it dark?" I wrote that down.
Marriage jokes.
What's that?
You got a lot of good marriage jokes.
I do, right? Like, these are good. It's funny because I went to my notebook after I knew you were going to come on, and I was looking at this notebook from 2002. And I'm like, yeah, those jokes were like, I don't know, they weren't as good, in my opinion. They were like, it's fun, and I'm a better comic. I would be able to tell those jokes better.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Again, that's what I'm doing, because when I'm doing this, reading these, even if they're just to my parents are my most honest audience. They'll tell me if it's funny or not.
Yeah.
And some of these jokes, I'm reading them. Even as I'm reading them, like, I know this isn't funny. And others, like the Michael Jackson thing, I was like, wow, that is actually funny. I thought it was just a silly idea.
Yeah. And maybe you could throw in some song titles. You know what I mean? Like Black or White or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, if you wanted to, like, as the Michael thing.
Yeah. No, totally. Yeah. Yeah. We can paint the walls whatever you want, black or white.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's one. Now, this is a comic's dream. This is the best. Anybody that's an artist or a creative person out there, if you have this happen in your life, this is like a gift. Okay. I was asleep, and you know that part right when you're about to wake up, but you're still asleep. I heard a garbage truck backing up outside of our window, and it was going beep, 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 beep. And in my dream, I said, "Wow, that driver must be swearing. They're censoring his words." And I woke up and I thought, that's actually funny. And I grabbed my phone and I tweeted it, and it got like a bunch of favorites and retweets. And I'm like, this is amazing. I wrote a joke in my sleep. And I told my wife, I opened the door, I go, I just wrote a joke in my sleep that got like 10 retweets and a bunch of favorites. And she goes, why can't you write good jokes like that when you're awake? And dude, I tweeted that, and that got even more likes and retweets. So I think that's funny.
That's very funny.
That's funny, right? Texas. Okay. I got a couple jokes real quick. I thought about these different, when you start thinking about the road and different places you've gone. I don't know what the comedy is in this, but I just remember one night I was in Las Vegas. I was at the Tropicana, and as I was going back to my hotel room, I saw this couple that had too many cocktails, and they were like arguing or whatever. And I wrote this line down because I thought it was so funny. The woman goes, if I had a better face, I'd be with someone else. Yeah. And when she said that, I wrote that down because I think it was reverse psychology. Because
Yeah.
Because the guy goes, "You do have a good face," and she goes, and then she's like, and then she's like walked away. I don't remember the rest of it, but I just thought, I actually didn't really get a good look at her. I just heard her say the line, "If I had a better face, I'd be with someone else." And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
That sounds like something you would hear in Vegas.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one that here. Okay, this is actually something the last time I performed before all this was in Vegas, actually, at the same club, the Laugh Factory at the Tropicana.
Oh yeah.
I started doing this joke that week, and I think I posted it too. But the joke is, you know how I know I've matured? I think it's sexier if a woman has her shit together versus if she's just hot. You know?
Yeah.
Like with a friend of mine, and this hot girl walks by. He's like, "Dude, look at her double B's." I'm like, "I'd rather check out her W2s." Get off her student loan. So.
Yeah, that's funny. All right, here's a couple jokes that did not hold up. I mean, this is from 2002. Before I did comedy, I was trying to be a rapper, and I did like these rap battles in high school. And there was a song by LL Cool J. Have you ever heard of it? It was one of his biggest hits in the early days. It goes, "I can't live without my radio."
I think I remember that one. Yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying. It wouldn't even hold up because nobody's going to remember the song. And here's the real reason it won't hold up. I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you my old headshot. This is my very first headshot. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Very first headshot. Here we go.
Ah, oh my God. Wow. Look at that hair. Holy God, Darren. That is a 90s headshot if I've ever seen one. Wow. Nice, man.
So the line that I said was, I used to be like, "And I can't live without my red hair." Which is, instead of radio, I said red hair, which is obviously, I never saw that coming.
We never do. I'm still holding on.
Isn't that hilarious?
That is so fun. You know what? You think at my parents' house, okay, wait, you know what? This isn't my first. But this is that's so funny. It happens to be, this is kind of like my mom's workplace, and she had this frame. This was from 2001. This is the first headshot I got when I moved to LA.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Look at that young boy.
I know. Look at that hair.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yeah.
No facial hair, nothing.
What's that?
You didn't have any facial hair or anything back then.
I was a young, just 26. I was 26 in this picture.
Wow.
I know.
That's cool.
Yeah. God, man, it goes by so fast. It's so funny. I didn't even realize. I'm like, where would I find it? And then I'm like, oh, my mom has that frame from almost 20 years ago.
My grandpa used to always do this joke whenever, because it's funny, from the 2002 era, I noticed a lot of my material was about losing your hair. 2003, like it was all dumb shit too. It was like, hey, I'm thinking positive. I'm not losing my hair. I'm getting taller. And then of course, like you just, and then in 2016, all my material was like, I just shaved my hair, guys. It's so funny, man. But
did you? I'm not sure, because I've been doing this one for a little bit. But the joke I do about growing facial hair, like I couldn't grow when I was a kid, and then it started happening in like my mid-20s or late 20s. But what nobody told me about facial hair was it doesn't stop here, because somewhere in your 40s, your nose starts going, you know what? I would love the beard too.
Yeah.
Then your ears go, damn, that is a great idea. And then your scalp goes, oh, well, you guys got it. You don't need me anymore. I'll see you later.
Yeah. That's funny. That's funny. And here's my last joke from that 2002 notebook. This one did not hold up at all, because this is the transition from pretty much beepers and pagers to cell phones. So apparently in 2002, it was funny to see someone with the beeper. Because I wrote, hey, people with beepers, they tell on themselves. You'll be in a restaurant and you'll hear beep, beep, beep. And they're the guy that stands up and they're like, does anyone know where there's a payphone? Dude, beeper and payphone. You want that joke? Guys, I've been quarantining myself for 20 years. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I'll let you choose which of my old jokes you want to hear. Pick a number between 150 and 200.
177.
177. Okay. Now pick a number between 1 and 4.
3. It's not funny, right?
You know what? The only reason I know this is not funny is because I tried this with my parents. Literally tried this exact joke with my parents tonight. So pick a number between 2 and 3, or 3 and 4.
Wait, between what?
3 or 4.
Give me number. Can I have number 3 again?
All right, number 3. A lot of comedians, including myself, talk a lot about sex. You might wonder why. It's simple, really. Sex is the most relatable thing in the world. Sex crosses the boundaries of race, religion, gender, language. Everyone knows about sex. Trust me, if everyone in the world was obsessed with astronomy, you'd hear comics doing jokes like, I hear they're coming out with a new line of winter clothing, using the technology that's been gathered about the nuclear heat of the sun. They're calling the clothes geothermals. That's why we talk about fucking.
Yeah.
What are you drinking?
Water and coffee.
Oh,
I got to stop. I got to chill out with the coffee now because, it's very easy to stay up on. Listen, just to drink coffee and then watch because I like to get the work done and then I like to enjoy, like after this I like to edit this and upload it. But once I got time to chill. Like last night, I thought, you know what? I uploaded a new YouTube video. I'm done with the podcast. I thought, let me watch Tiger King because I only saw 3 episodes, and last night I watched another 3 episodes. That's pretty damn good, right?
Ew, that show is I'm not sure if I made a little meme about it where I had the meme of Joe Exotic and his husband without the teeth, and then the meme said, "There's a meth head to his madness."
A meth head. I like that.
Yeah, like a method to his method. There's a method. That show is fucking insane. You know what? This is also weird too because my father, he turns in kind of early, so my mom and I stay up watching TV. Like my mom is becoming my best friend right now.
That's sweet.
We're watching Love Is Blind together. It's really funny.
How far are you away from what's her name? Carol or something? Carol, that girl Carol that he hates. Joe Exotic.
Yeah. What about her?
What's her name? Carol
Baskin.
Carol Baskin. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
How far away are you from her?
Look, this is Florida, okay?
Yeah.
Florida. This is the West Coast. This is the East Coast. I'm over here down near Fort Lauderdale on the East Coast. She's up here in Tampa on the West Coast. So I'm about 4 hours away.
Wow. Are you kind of curious? Do you kind of want to go up there? Not this time, but
no. Why would I want to spend money to help a murderer?
That's true. Ooh. Spoiler. No. Hey, by the way, I actually met that guy, that Joe Exotic guy. I met him in 2009. I did the Funny Bone in Toledo. And you know how he would go around to these malls? And I got pictures with me and those little cubs.
Are you serious?
I'm totally serious. I don't have a picture with him because I didn't know who, you know what I mean? But I remember him with all the earrings and the bracelets and the Southern accent. And unless there's another guy that's like that, but I doubt it. Because I remember even 4 years ago, I want to say, I was on YouTube late at night watching different videos, random, and then his videos popped up. And I thought, oh, there's that guy that I remember those tigers in the Funny Bone. And then now he's like the biggest craze ever.
Yeah, well, for now. I mean, that's the thing. Yeah. That's what's so insane is they're literally Andy the Warhol, where Andy Warhol was right. 15 minutes of fame. Because if you remember, a couple of years ago, it was the Making the Murderer guy that everyone was obsessed with from Netflix.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying he's not still being talked about, but he's not in the zeitgeist like Joe Exotic is now, and he's also in jail. And this is going to crest and break like everything else. It's insane.
I'll give you some hope. I'm reading a book on the history of comedy, and they're talking about the Depression and what these comedians, they didn't have places to perform, or some of them still went out there, but people didn't have money to come see them. So there might be 12 people in this big theater. They said that a lot of comedians made a transition, and in the 30s they did radio. So, by doing these video podcasts, by doing audio podcasts, by continuing to reach the fans, you're going to keep entertaining them. So we're really lucky that we have a phone in our, you know what I mean? This is our TV station. It's like, I think of Channel 3 as Facebook, Channel 4 is your podcast, Channel 5 is YouTube, Channel 6 is, you know what I mean? So on and so forth. It's like, that's great that we have this,
Yeah, it is, but it isn't. Like, honestly, man, like, I can't tell you, like, I am so over inundated with social media. Like, I mean, and I know I'm addicted. Like, I wake up in the morning and the first thing I do is grab my phone going, who said what or blah, blah, blah. And then, then you're reading your feed and it's everybody's got their opinion and these articles about it's their fault. And it's
here's what I like to do though, Flip. I have a couple friends that and I know what you're saying. That is it's almost like a poison. So don't take that poison. Think of yourself as not a consumer of content, but a content creator. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm like, you know what? Rather than just scrolling, and I've done it. I don't want to do that though. I want to keep putting stuff out there and keep using your mind. I mean, this is what a better time. Like I said, to be able to, have all my equipment. I got all my stuff, and I've got lights now, and what a better time to you ready for another old headshot? Yeah. Here we go. Look at this. I mean, before I'd have to invite people over one by one to show them an old headshot. Now it's like, here we go.
I've actually seen that one hanging up in comedy clubs.
Yeah.
Hanging up in comedy clubs.
Yeah, that was more like the 2000. This is one that you won't see anywhere.
No, neither is that one. By the way, just you actually made me think of this because I've done Zoom before. I just changed my name to my Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook handle at Flip Schultz. So
at Flip Schultz, make sure you get them. And guys, if you like this, hit us up on Venmo. Throw us a few dollars on Venmo. My Venmo is, I think it's Darren Carter Comic. Darren Carter Comic. And same thing with Flip.
Yeah, I'm just Flip Schultz on Venmo or PayPal. It's a good call. You know what? I did my broadcast tonight, and I should have mentioned that. You're absolutely right.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm
Darren Carter Comic. Darren Carter Comic on Venmo. Yeah.
Schultz on Venmo, PayPal.
I'm also on PayPal. comediandarrencarter@gmail.com for the PayPal. It's great, man. And wonderful people have donated, and I'm telling you, Flip, it's, they say laughter is the best medicine, and I look at this like we're doing a house call.
Yeah. No, I'm telling you, like, and again, the thing that like we were talking about before that I'm doing with my parents, I'm calling it Live from the Living Room.
Love it.
Is people are messaging and just saying I needed that. Thank you so much. Because like I was saying before, I don't want to be ignoring what's going on in the world, but I don't want to be wrapped up in it. And we still have a purpose as a comedian to entertain, to laugh, to make. Because even before a pandemic, people would come to a comedy club to just forget about what's either going on in politics or what's going on in their own lives personally. That's what comedy is, stand-up. It's escapism. And we're still able to do that with them, whether it's a podcast like this or a live stream of comedy or, sketches or whatever. And I still think there's a place for us. There'll always be a place for us in the world. Yeah, it's like you said, finding a new medium to get it out.
Yeah, and we'll find the humor in something. I remember when, and I'll end on this little joke, this idea. I remember the first time that we have this West Coast chain. It's called In-N-Out Burger for you guys watching around the country or the world. And at In-N-Out Burger, they do a thing. It's really nice. Like if you want to eat in your car, they ask you. And if you say yes, they don't just hand you a bag with your burgers in it. They give you like this cardboard box so it doesn't make a big mess. Right. And so the joke is, I remember the first time they asked me that, they go, "Sir, will you be eating in your car?" I felt like I was being fat shamed. I was like, yeah, but don't tell nobody. Like, I didn't know. Are they in the back? Yeah, the guy in the white Honda has zero self-control. Get him the box troughed. Where I'm just like, ooh.
I thought you were going to say, will you be eating in your car? I'm a comedian. Of course I'm going to be eating in my car.
Yeah. Dude, we are comedians, man. We're comedians. Hey, let's do it. Let's do a virtual fist bump. Ready? Bam. That was cool.
Yeah. Actually, when I was in Vegas, like around Friday, we were told, that's when like, don't touch, yada, yada. And I used to start with fist bumping. And so I started going, well, we can't fist bump, so I'm going to miss bump.
Oh,
so
I like that.
I just do that against it, like as the other guy went the other way. I called it a miss bump. I thought that was fun.
Miss bump. Bam. That's good. Flip, it's great to have you on. And I'll give you a call later. And thank you so much.
My pleasure, man. Thank you. Stay safe, and love to Jeannie and Austin, man.
I will. And do you wash your hands? Do you do the happy birthday song? That's what you're supposed to do.
Actually, I sing Mama's Gonna Knock You Out. I figure that's fine.
And I sing, I can't live without my red hair. It's so weird.
Knock you out. Mama gonna knock.
I was somewhere recently, like it was like 2 weeks ago, and somebody, this is before the pandemic got, how it is now. And I remember I saw somebody wash their hands, but they did it briefly. They were like, maybe like 8 seconds. And I thought that because in my mind, I'm like, I'm singing happy birthday to, but that's actually, that's kind of creepy, right? You can't be in the men's room singing happy birthday to people. And many more.
For he's a jolly good fellow.
For he's a jolly good fellow. For he's a jolly good fellow. Which nobody can deny.
Which nobody can deny. Although I guess better than smack my bitch up. Smack my bitch up.
That was the song whenever my son would do a new thing in his life that got him into a new, like something. I used to pick him up and I'd sing that, for he's a jolly good fellow. It's a happy memory with us, for he's a jolly good fellow.
I thought you were going to say I pick him up going, smack my bitch up.
Oh, do I want to tell you this last new joke?
Go for it.
It's a little dirty, but I'll it was innocent. My son innocently, because we were playing basketball, and he likes playing horse, right? Where you spell out the word horse, right. And he wanted to play with me and my wife, and he goes, "Can we?" He goes, he actually said this, but he doesn't know what it means. He goes, "Can we play horse threesome?" And I had to tell him, I looked around, I made sure that, I go, listen, we're going to have a father-son talk. I said, that's kind of like adult language. And he goes, what is? And I said, threesome. And he goes, it is? Like, he was totally baffled. And he goes, what does it mean? I'm like, do I tell him? I go, well, it's, what I'm thinking, I'm going to tell him. Otherwise someone else is going to tell him. And I go, it's a threesome is when, a guy has sex with 2 women at the same time. And Flip, it was hilarious. He goes, that doesn't even make sense. Dude, that's all I had. I walked over to my phone. I wrote that down. I don't know if I'll ever use that, but it made me laugh. Just seeing the innocence still. He's 12 years old. He's learning, but he's still,
one day he's going to go, that's what Dad meant. Oh.
He's
going to go, guys, you won't believe this. It just occurred to me what my dad was talking about 10 years ago.
Exactly. Yeah, because I don't want. Yeah, you don't want him to be, on the playground, next year or whenever over the summer. Like, hey guys, want to do a threesome? It's like, you got to kind of,
yeah. That's funny. That's funny.
Especially horse threesome. That sounds worse.
That sounds really bad. But if there's ever time to say giddy up, it would be in a horse threesome.
Hey. Yeah. All right, Flip. I'll see you later, buddy.
I'll see you, Darren. Take care. Stay safe, everyone.
We're done with this interview.
So when my son was about 10 years old, I remember he came into the kitchen and he goes, hey, Mom, how many pounds do you weigh? She goes, you never ask a woman how many pounds. And he thought about it and he goes, how many tons? I said, this kid's funny. I gotta write that down. Anyways, I'm gonna write some more jokes down. And while I'm doing that, you guys click one of these bubbles and watch another one of my videos. And thanks again for subscribing. Thank you.
Pocket party.